Hello ladies and gentlemen of StarCraft Nation, Zoid from the StarCraft Squad here. Today I'm bringing you another user-submitted video. Spawning over here as the red Protoss is Jaruz. He is not our user-submitter. Over here is our user-submitter, Xeridea. So, we're going to be monitoring Xeridea's play. Not even really going to focus on the red play at all. That's usually how we do our user-submitted videos. Now we've changed the title of all our user-submitted videos to USR and then dash, and I'll say all the other stuff after, because it was a little bit difficult to find everyone's user-submitted replays. So this should be a lot easier of a system. Now we got scouting going on. Pros walk past each other. We've already scouted these two bases, so we know we're in close positions. Well, it seems we're starting to slip a little bit on our pro production. Need to constantly be building probes. You never want to stop ever building probes unless you're doing a 4-gate all-in push. But you only stop building probes whenever you're doing the push. So right now we haven't built a probe in quite a while. Getting a little bit of zealot harassment here. We need to get a stalker out as soon as possible. Stop warping in or building gate or whatever they're called, zealots, and get a stalker out. Stalker can kite these guys forever. Now we've lost a lot of probes. We're starting to rebuild now, but if we were constantly building, we wouldn't be in such a terrible position right now. But now it's 16 probes. We're at the 5.5 minute mark. Should have a lot more than that if you're chrono boosting properly. Right now we haven't even started researching Warp Gate. No matter what build you're going, you need to research Warp Gate as soon as your Cyber Core is done. Doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't care if you're Mothership rushing. I don't care if you're Void Raying. I don't care if you're going Colossus. As soon as your Cyber Core is done, you need to click it and research Warp Gate immediately. Especially when you're going to 3-gate. So we haven't built a probe in quite a while. We're sitting on 300 minerals. We need to get probe production going. We can't be this low on probes. We haven't built a probe in forever. We have 18 harvesters versus 25. This guy's economy is a lot stronger than ours right now. Still not building any probes. And now we're going 3-gate robo. Be able to afford a build like 3-gate robo and then into an expansion, you need probes. So we're starting to build probes again. We're color boosting them out, but we've been, not building. The only time you ever want to cut probes, like I said, is when you're doing a 4-gate all-in push, and you cut probes as you're doing the all-in. You're not doing a 4-gate all-in, so make sure you're constantly mindful of how many probe, or just constantly mindful. Constantly click your keybind for Nexus, which is 1, and make sure there's always at least 1 probe in there building. So we got Immortals on the way. Still no. Oh, so we finally got Warp Gate research. Transferring these to Warp Gates now. We could have had these a lot sooner though. And we got a pretty formidable force outside our base right now. No stalkers with it though, so you can easily cut off half his army as he walks up. Now, so you guys know, you can chrono boost your warp gates to get the cooldown done faster, but we are supply blocked right now, which is a terrible position to be in when you have such a huge force outside your base. Still not building probes. Our chrono boost is starting to get a little bit too, our energy is starting to get a little bit too high. Doing another chrono boost. Just so you know, you guys need to never be over 25 energy. You need to be constantly chrono boosting. So walking out into that probably wasn't the best idea since he does have sentries now. He's falling back, so now's the time you want to do a counterattack. And as you're attacking, okay, so right now you're leaving your base. And what you want to do is, instead of building more units, because right now your force is a lot bigger, obviously. You don't want to warp in more units there. You want to just go push them, do a little poking and prodding to do some damage, But instead of building these 3 stalkers, you want to expand. Every time you move out to attack, guys, you want to expand. When you expand, you attack. When you attack, you expand. So right now you're moving out for a kill, expand, and then send this army over to kill it. Or you probably won't, with this army, you're probably not going to be able to kill him, but you're going to be able to do some damage. Pick off a pylon, scare him a bit, you know, shake him up. So, especially when he's already on 2 bases, which you don't even know. So, you want to expand right at this point. You don't want to keep warping in units. So we're moving out. We're going to keep an eye on this Nexus. Not building any probes right now. Chrono Boost is starting to rack up. Microing way too hard on our army. All there is 2 pylons there, guys. You just want to, you know, focus fire them down, and all this becomes inactive. Even the Robo Bay. So focus fire on these pylons, guys. There you go. Now you take out his expansion. Right now we're sitting on 200 minerals. We're still warping in units, but we need to, because we had some zealot harassment there, because we left that, we got a warp prism in our base. But still no expansion. Right now we're sitting on, you know, well, we were sitting on minerals, but he spent them all. Not building any probes right now. So you did your damage, right? You killed his expansion, and then you fall back. That's a great way to play. Now, he's obviously getting this into your base, so you need to get your stalker over here and kill this warp prism. So now you're scouting the map with your army, but you still need to expand. So we're finally getting our expansion down really late. Should have been up quite a long time ago. We have 5 probes queued up right now, guys. That's horrible. That's disgusting to look at. And you're sitting on 100 energy, so be mindful. You don't want to queue up probes. You want to build them as they're coming out to improve your micro. And you want to be using your Chrono Boost. So make sure you're you can use them on Warp Gate, guys. You can use them on your Robo Bay. You can use them on your probes that you're building. You just need to be using your Chrono Boost. I mean, this is unnecessarily bad. You also want to get a forge down for upgrades. Now make sure you guys go in with your zealots first. He lost 2 stalkers unnecessarily because he went in with his stalkers first and his zealots were blocked off. So make sure you go in with your melee units at the front. Expansion's finally going, but we're really low on probes. If we go to the income tab, we are only at 26 probes versus 36. So we need to always be mindful of how many, that we're constantly building probes, constantly building pylons. So we finally got the forge down, but no weapon upgrade yet. So more warp gate play here, but we're doing a good job at not letting them get to us. Good wall off there, catching those stalkers there. So now the Robo Bay's done. We're Chrono boosting out extended thermal lance and getting a Colossus. Now, the reason why you want to always keep 1 pylon at your expansion, guys, is for situations like this. You could be warping in units right now to save your base. And you need to get these probes out of here before they all die. You don't want to lose them, because right now we only have 32, and if you lose all these probes, you're going to be in a pretty shitty situation. So make sure you get your probes out of there. You don't want any of them to die. And looks like you're just, you know, just sitting there, losing them. So this is why you always have a pylon outside your base, so you can stop stuff like this. Or even, since you have this one over here, warp them in over here and walk them around, but you just can't risk losing your base. So right now you're down to expansion. So right now I would be playing a little bit of a risky game. Since I do have my Colossus out, you need to go expand to the gold. So right now you want to cut all workers. You don't want to build anything else right now. Stop building altogether. Okay, you need to be very careful with your Colossus. You can't be out in the middle of nowhere with them like this. You need to keep your Colossus with the bulk of your force so they don't get picked off. So right now you're sitting on 500 minerals. You want to come expand to the gold. We're re-expanding here, which is fine. At least we're getting another expansion up. We'll look at the income tab. We're still pretty low on harvesters. We haven't built one in quite a while. Our Chrono Boost is back up to 100 energy again to make sure constantly Chrono boosting. We have a little Colossus push coming right now. You need to get a proxy pylon out here, guys. You need to put one down about right here, so you can keep enforcing your stalkers again. You did lose your expansion here, so you need to be very careful of that. The cool thing about 4 sentries like this, 4 sentries can infinitely close off a base. So if you ever have 4, now we're doing quite a large amount of damage here. At this point, you just want to move out and save your base. Oh, you need better micromanagement of your Colossus. You've lost both your Colossus already. So right now, you're back on one base. You have nothing to mine with, so you're going to have to long distance mine this just to get enough minerals to expand. So, a lot of problems going on with this game. So, we're pretty much out of this game at this point. I mean, he is trying to long distance mine. We need to just save up. We need to send these sentries out. So, right now we got stalkers here to harass, and they're going to start picking off his probes. And once he loses all his probes, it's not going to be good. And I don't know why Jars isn't attacking back, but since he's on 3 base, building a lot more gateways and robos, it's not going to be good for Xeridea. Needs to get these guys mining. Always be mindful of your inactive probes. And now we're losing all our probes. Warping in more stalkers instead of using that money to expand. And then Xeridea knows at this point he's out, so he leaves the game. So, just going to point out a couple things that need to be improved. This Nexus is on 100 energy, so that's not a good thing. We got gateways lying around his base that aren't in warp gate mode. We lost our expansion twice due to the fact that we did not have a pylon out here to defend it. If you're getting warp prism harassed, you don't need to bring your whole army to defend 4 stalkers. Leave half your army out here, or you're going to lose your nexus like that, and send the other half in here to kill the warp prism. Constantly build probes, guys. We're at 11 probes right now versus 52. If you're constantly building probes the entire game, you would probably have more than him. You always need to be using your Chrono Boost. It should never be more than 25. There's so many things you can use it on. You can use it on upgrades. You can use it on to reduce the cooldown of your warp gate. You can use it to get your units out of your robo faster. You can use it to get more probes out. So you never have more than 25 energy. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you've lost your Nexus twice, and you have no way of, like, you've pretty much lost the economic war, you have to be risky and take the gold expansion. You can defend it with your 2 Colossus that have Thermal Lance and get your economy back going. So make sure you guys, know when to take that risk of taking the gold. Better sentry play, a little bit better, I mean, you did a good wall off over here, but there's several situations where you could have walled off just a little bit better. Knowing when to expand and when to spend your money on units is a key thing. When you're going out to do a push like this to kill this expansion, you didn't need those 4 additional stalkers. You had plenty there. Could have expanded there a little bit early. Remember, this is an economy-based game, guys. You want to get your economy up and going as fast as possible, so make sure you guys are doing that. So I think that's a broad overview of everything Xeridea can improve on. Make sure you guys subscribe. Submit your replays at starcraftsquad@gmail.com, and I will commentate them. I'm Zoya. See you guys next time.